Hi, I'm Sasha Saidin, and this is my story about Jatuh Cinta. Okay, so tercetusnya idea untuk the revival of Kerana Cinta, which is my first solo album, saya dikeluarkan pada 2007-2008, adalah Kerana Jatuh Cinta, the song Jatuh Cinta. And it's funny because when the album first came out 11 years ago, at that time we pushed Merenda Kasih, and Merenda Kasih is it's quite a sad song, sad love song, ballad. It's very dramatic, and I really believe it reflected my state of mind during that time. I think that really reflected where I was at that point of time. And fast forwarding to 2018, when this idea came up for revival of Kerana Cinta, immediately I said, Jatuh Cinta is a song that I want. And Jatuh Cinta is a very positive, happy love song. It's like, I don't know, it's really me at this point of time. I'm in a much better place, I'm more calmer, and I want my listeners, my followers, my fans, or just people who are curious about my solo album to take a listen to Jatuh Cinta and see if you can feel that feeling of serendipity, and it's got a very romantic feel to it. So the reason why I came out with this revival of Kerana Cinta was actually support and encouragement from a lot of friends, or my fans from way back knew of this solo album. But what had happened is, back then in 2007-2008, Cinta Umpat was like so bad, and the internet was a rave, and everybody was just doing illegal downloading. So it was very difficult for artists like me. In terms of album sales, was not good, and I was even told by my distributor that even the top singers had problems with their albums. I promoted it as well as I could. I in fact did some shows in Indonesia, in Singapore, and of course in Malaysia. But eventually when I did get married and I moved away from Malaysia, I kind of left it. And so in 2018, like I said, encouragement from friends. It actually started with an idea to do video clip for Jatuh Cinta. So that was like the start of it. So another group of friends, a director and a makeup artist, stylist, they were like, let's do this video clip. So it happened very random, done within, it was supposed to be 1 day, but it turned into 2 days. But the friend who did my makeup was like, it was just like on point, and the director is fantastic. She's actually a student from Indonesia, but she's so good at her craft. And even the dress, right down to the dress, the red dress that everybody loves in the video clip, is actually from a student in UITM. That particular dress was a dress that she had put for exam, and I just saw it hanging up because I had gone for another designer, actually model for another designer. But I saw that dress and I was like, can I use that dress? She's like, yeah, fine. And so I wore that. And it just looks so good on camera, and it just fits so well with the red with Jatuh Cinta. It just speaks of cinta. So then what happened next is I asked a friend who's also a singer. And I asked him, does he know how I would be able to get Kerana Cinta on digital platforms? Because now everybody has their music on digital platforms for people to listen, to purchase, to download. No more are people go to CD shops and all that. And he was like, yeah, I know someone. And before I know it, we're at Dream Music. We're in the office, I'm signing a contract. And soon after that, the album was on all the digital platforms, and was also available as Real Tones. And on the 1st of April was when Jatuh Cinta came out, the video clip, and the response was amazing, really, really amazing. The initial storyboard for Jatuh Cinta was really simple. It was just, I wanted it very fluid, very translucent, and just dreamlike, I guess, And so basically the director was like, okay, let's keep it simple. And so I knew somebody, the owner of the cafe, which has a very beautiful view. And so we shot there, and the model, Alif, is also a friend of mine, and he won Hero Remaja. So we shot there at the restaurant, and the dress was, like I said, was from a student from UITM. And the funny thing is, the dress didn't quite fit me, but we worked around it, and it looked, you know, it's just, the color was just so striking, it just went so well with the song. And the makeup also was like, you know, the makeup artist is a friend of mine who's worked with me many times, so she knew like how I like to be portrayed, my do's and don'ts, so I didn't have to really discuss with her very much. But everything just kind of fell into place, except on that first day we shot right till nighttime, because we actually wanted to shoot in somewhere that was nature, greenery, and by the time we finished at the restaurant it was quite late at night, and so we got to the spot. But you know, this is like, we were just working with a small camera, there's no lighting, nothing like that, you know, so we could only shoot during the day, but we said, I will try and see what we can do at night. So we actually did go to the location, the next location, shot at night. I think we used headlights of a car or something. But when it came to editing, the director said the contrast was too much, and she wanted to keep it very light, as in like light sunlight, you know, she didn't want it to have any effect of it being dark or anything like that. So we had to scrap that, and so we went back, and maybe just me, the makeup artist and the director. This place that was in the middle of the jungle forest, and it just turned out like very Alice in Wonderland-ish, you know, and this beautiful, really beautiful tall trees and a beautiful waterfall behind me, and like I said, everything just fell into place. And I knew I had a lot of faith in the director. She's actually a photographer, and she does video on the side. But looking at some of her work, bits and pieces of it, I knew she had it in her. And sebab kita pun dah gel, the whole team really gelled, and she knew what I wanted. I knew what she was capable of, and more. So sometimes it pays, you know. Simplicity is the best way to go, and it just turned out so good. And when it premiered, you know, of course I did a build up towards the premiere on the 1st of April, and so everybody was excited to see, because I had shown bits and pieces of it. But when it came out, you know, obviously all of us were nervous. It was a project that kita start macam saja suka nak buat, and became something quite serious, very serious. And when it came out, it just, I mean, obviously we loved it, you know. There was a few editing bits that had to be edited, you know, everybody gave in their input. But when it came out, I felt it was perfect. So the next step after Jatuh Cinta is, of course, the next single. It's going to be a ballad, although there might be a slight change in the sense that there seems to be a consensus that those that have listened to the full album like another song on the album that is actually a fast song. So we haven't quite decided whether to do the fast song yet or the slow song, but whatever it is, there's definitely going to be a second single and then a third single, and we're going to do another new video clip for each of the singles. And it's very exciting because now that there's build up of interest for Kerana Cinta and the songs, like people have really listened to the whole album. I've got like really good positive feedback on the album, and different people like different songs. But I find it interesting when I talk to people and see which songs that they like, you know, because when I did the album, I handpicked all the songs myself. Out of 10 songs, I wrote I think 5 or 6 of the lyrics, and I wanted it to be a very colourful album, and I got to work with a lot of people, collaborate with a lot of people on the album. The songwriters, you know, now especially very famous people, No Hujan, Uno Pop Shabir, Amir Rafiq, Zain Rafiq, Tukang Kata, Ali Fikir, the boys from Malik and Essentials, Yobi, which is a very famous singer and songwriter in Indonesia. The people that worked on behind the scene as well, I mean, who did the mastering and everything. These are people who've been in the industry for a long time, but they were interested to help with this project, Kerana Cinta, again, which is why I called it Kerana Cinta, because it was really done out of love, out of passion. I wanted to see how it would come out in the end as well, so everybody was like pitching in their ideas and stuff. And so this time around, I get to pick which singles come out. Although, like I said, it's between a fast song or a slow song, but it's going to be very interesting, so you guys need to stay tuned and see what's going to be the next move.